All aboard the KTX to Pyongyang.
This week we're here in Paju visiting the DMZ. We've been invited by the National Library of Korea to spend a day here learning more about the alliance between the United States and Korea. We've got a lot of exciting places to visit today, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get going. Our first stop at the DMZ was at Imjin-gak, a park established in 1972 along the Imjin River right outside of Paju to commemorate the 70-year alliance of the United States and Korea. We visited the monument for the participation of the US in the Korean War. Built in 1957, the monument commemorates the lives lost during the Korean War. We next walked over to the Imjin-gak Peace Gondola, providing access to both sides of the Imjin River. This area falls within the civilian control line section of the DMZ, so IDs were checked ahead of time. On the north side of the Imjin River, you'll find parts of the former Camp Greaves. The former bowling alley of the base was converted into an exhibition center where you can learn more about the Korean War and lives of civilians and soldiers during the war. We then returned to the bus to head down the road to the Odasan Unification Observatory. Opened in 1992, the observatory sits on Odasan Mountain, an area where the Han River of the south meets the Imjin River of the north. This area is the northernmost point of the western part of the DMZ, and the observatory offers exhibits that provide education about unification efforts along with the area where you can easily see North Korea from the observation deck. One of our last stops on the trip was to the Museum of Modern History of Korea. Across the different floors, you can travel back in time to see what Korea was like during different areas of its history. There are over 70,000 artifacts collected over a period of 30 years, and walking through the different villages that they have set up, you can get a glimpse of what life was like during Korea's quickly changing past. During our visit, we also got to hear a speech from Chairman Young-ho Kim of the Unification Future Planning Committee at the Ministry of Unification. We learned about the history of the Republic of Korea and US alliance along with future plans for the peninsula. We also got to learn more about the history of the Korean War from Director Young-han Lim of the KJ Institute of Humanities and Business. When we visited the various sites on the trip, Director Lim was also able to provide some additional information and insight that added to the overall experience on this trip. Overall, the trip to the DMZ was a very informative and enjoyable experience, and I'll see all of you on the next adventure with South Korea Travels.